Fee, fi, fo, fum. Ask not whence the thunder comes. For between heaven and earth is a perilous place, home to a fearsome giant race, who hunger to conquer the mortals below, waiting for the seeds of revenge to grow.
At the risk of sounding just a bit hyperbolic, giants are a big deal. Giants are the kind of creatures most players instinctively know when they're going up against them, they're in for a world of hurt. Certain enemy types can be deceptively dangerous, doing damage to ability scores, or stun-locking players, or doing all kinds of weird things to them. Giants, on the other hand, are obviously dangerous. They excel at doing large amounts of damage and absorbing large amounts of punishment. So if you want to challenge your players with a good old-fashioned slug match, giants are an excellent creature type to throw at them. At early levels, a single giant makes an excellent boss, or a force so powerful that the party's only viable option is to flee. And at later levels, groups of giants can threaten even veteran party members. Now, before we get too far into this, I want to differentiate True Giants, which this video is about, from Giantkin, which I'll cover later. Giantkin are creatures like ogres, trolls, cyclopses, and ettins, whereas True Giants will typically be named for their environment and have giant in the name. Example, Frost Giant, Fire Giant, Hill Giant. One of the key differences is True Giants have an ability called Throw Rock. This is a special attack where they chuck a giant rock at something, and it really hurts. Now, when it comes to intelligence, it's important to remember that giants are about as intelligent or stupid as other humanoids. You can get some very stupid ones, but you can also get some fairly clever ones. Giants also vary widely in terms of size category, from large to huge. Something like a hill giant is one of the shrimpier ones at a mere 10 feet tall, whereas a colossal storm giant can be around 21 feet tall. You should also remember that whether they be True Giant or Giantkin, giants are humanoids with the giant subtype. It's also important to remember that giants are not inherently good or evil, but their societies will kind of have a leaning toward one way or the other. One of the weakest types of true giants are hill giants. They're large category and a CR 7. Obviously, they tend to live in hilly regions, and they're fond of pillaging. Next up, we have stone giants. These large creatures are challenge rating 8. As an overall group, stone giants tend to be neutral, and they're fond of any rocky environment. Next up, straight from Jotunheim, we have the frost giants. These cool customers come in at a challenge rating 9. They tend to prefer frosty mountains, and as a group are generally chaotic evil. Then we have fire giants. Fire giants are challenge rating 10. They're large category, found in warm mountainous regions, and they have a special feature of their throw rock attacks called heated rock. This means that on a successful hit with throw rock, they will do an additional d6 of fire damage to whatever was hit by the rock. As a general group, fire giants tend to be lawful evil. Next up, we have cloud giants at a challenge rating 11. Their huge category can be found in temperate mountains, and they're capable of wielding oversized weapons. What this means is they can wield gargantuan category weapons without penalty, because, huge category weapons just aren't big enough. As a group, cloud giants will tend to vary in alignment from neutral good to neutral evil. Finally, we have the big men on the beanstalk, the storm giants. Storm giants come in at a CR 13. They're a huge category and can be found in any warm environment. As a group, in general, storm giants are chaotic good. Now that short list just scratches the surface of potential giants that the party can encounter. No matter where your campaign is set, there's probably a giant there. Just a few other giant varieties are cave giants, cliff giants, wood giants, jungle giants, marsh giants, and desert giants. Also, storm giants can breathe underwater, so the party isn't safe at sea either. Now, I would like to leave you with some giant inspiration for your next Pathfinder game. First off, a great place to look is Norse mythology, where you find both fire giants and frost giants, and a particularly famous giant killer named Thor. Also consider looking at fairy tales, such as Jack the Giant Killer, Finn McCool, and of course America's favorite giant, Paul Bunyan. For TV shows and movies, I'd recommend watching Attack on Titan. I think that it's a little bit overrated as an anime, but gosh darn it, the Titans are pretty damn impressive. Also, if you're interested in something a little bit more whimsical, I'd recommend the movie BFG, Big Friendly Giant. Finally, for video games, the Dark Souls series has some fantastic giants. Also, there are tons of wandering giants in Skyrim who will send you straight to the Skyrim, and Magic the Gathering has some pretty decent giant cards in it. They're all fairly expensive mana-wise, but they can still give you ideas for your Pathfinder game. Thank you for watching the D6 Damage DM's Guide to True Giants. If you're interested in more character builds and strategy guides for Pathfinder or Dungeons & Dragons, check out D6 Damage right here on YouTube.